Welcome to the networking tutorial video. Let's start with the BLSM, which efficiently allocates IP addresses by subnetting a network to match the exact needs of each segment. Using the 10.144.0.0/23 network, we create subnets for different departments, as shown in our IP address plan. For instance, label A requires 500 hosts, so we assign We configure VLANs on our switches to segment network traffic logically without separate physical hardware. On, on all switches S1 to S8, we create VLANs 2, 4, 6, 7, and 17 using commands like enable, configure terminal, VLAN 2, and so on. For switch 2, we assign fast Ethernet ports 0/1 to 0/24. To VLAN 7 in access mode with switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 7 and set fast Ethernet 0/1 as a trunk port to carry VLAN traffic. Similarly, S1 assigns its port to VLAN 17, S3 to VLAN 2, S4 to VLAN 4, and S5 to VLAN 6, while S6 and S7 and S8 are configured as trunk ports to connect routers and switches, ensuring VLAN traffic flows across the network. Now, let's move to the router, starting with the router 3, which uses sub-interfaces to handle multiple VLANs on one physical interface. For VLAN 7, we configure in gigabit 0.0/0/0.7 encapsulation .1Q7 and IP 172.32.67.1/28, and for VLAN 17 in gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0.17 with IP 172.32.66.193/27. Router 3 also acts as a DHCP server, excluding its own IPs with the IP DHCP is excluded address when creating DHCP pools for VLAN 7 and VLAN 17. Router 2 is configured similarly with interfaces for VLANs 2, 4, 6, using IPs like 172.32.67.17/28, 172.32.66.225/27, and 172.32.67.33/28, and corresponding DHCP pools. Router 4 handles VLANs 50 and 100 with IPs 172.32.66.1/25 and 172.32.66.129/26 respectively. And Router 1 manages VLAN 500 with IP 172.32.64.1/23, each with DHCP pools. After configuring the routers, we go to each PC. Navigate Desktop IP Configuration, switch from static to DHCP, and configure and confirm successful IP assignment from the DHCP pools. To enable communication across the network, we configure serial interfaces between routers. For example, R1 serial is 0/1/0 uses IP 10.0.0.1/30, connecting to R2 serial 0/1/0 with IP 10.0.0.2/30, with similar connection for R1 to R3 and R4. We then add static routes to ensure all the subnets are reachable. On R3, we add routes like IP route 172.32.64.0, 255.255.254.0, 10.0.0